Welcome to Digital Real Estate Secrets, episode 9. My name is Nick Wood. If this is your first episode, welcome to Digital Real Estate. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, and this is your first episode or your first introduction into this thing called digital real estate, let me explain this model in simple terms for you guys, okay? Digital real estate, also called rank and rent, also called website rental, also called a host of things, and we kind of use it interchangeably, is this. You pick a city and you pick an industry, okay, or a niche. So let's just say, let's use Tallahassee, and we'll use tree service. Okay, that's our city, that's our niche. Boom. Secondly, we build a website, simple, basic website, and we start to do SEO. SEO means search engine optimization. Basically, what we're doing is we're doing things to get it to show up at the top of Google. Okay, so we pick the city, we pick the niche, we build a website, and we do our SEO. We optimize it for Google. We get it to rank, right? Once it ranks, phone starts to ring. We take those phone calls, we sell them to a local business owner. Basically, we're renting the website to the local business owner, and we get paid. That's it. Pick a niche, pick a city, build a website and rank it, rent it out. We call it rank and rent because we rank a website and then we rent it. We call it digital real estate because we're doing the same thing as we would be if we were doing real estate investing, but instead of building a house, we're building a website. Instead of working with a tenant, a random, person on the street or somebody that needs a home, we're working with a business owner. Instead of providing a place to live, we are providing leads. And that's it. And then we can do it again and again and again. That is the commonalities, but obviously we've talked, many, many times so far, and we will continue to talk about the differences. And there are a lot of differences and a lot of upside that come with digital real estate. The biggest being the cost. And we've talked about how much does it actually cost to build one of these projects, one of these assets, one of these cash-making machines. You guys go check out some of our other episodes. I think it was episode. You guys are gonna make me a liar. Let me check it real quick. I don't want to lie to you guys. But let me give you guys the exact episode that we covered that on. And if I could find my notes, I would love to tell you guys, but it's just not coming to me. Hold on, hold tight. And by the way, we're not re-recording this. Absolutely not. It was episode 3. If you guys want to check that out. Okay. That said, guys, today, for the episode today, we're going to be talking about how to make your first $750 a month renting simple websites. Now, I used the number $750 per month because that's a very safe, conservative number. And on this show, I always want to use safe, conservative numbers. I have a deal right currently as we speak, and I actually was just talking about this deal with my project manager, the person that runs my business. And this is a deal that's for it's a $3,000 per month deal. Okay. I've had deals that, in fact, last Thursday, at the time of recording this, a week ago, or not even a week ago, 5 days ago, whatever. I think it's a Tuesday today, 5 days ago, we did a proposal and we gave the business owner, it was actually the marketing director, an option to either do a $10,000 per month. Long day today, guys. Sorry about that. Either $10,000 per month deal or a $7,500 per month deal. And I will be happy to let you guys know that we just got a message from that person that said, says, okay, I will, because we said if there's anything that you need to do, we need to do to get this over the finish line, let us know. And we got this response. Okay, I will. We're going to do this. I just need to work on allocation of the costs. I have to pull some from other efforts, which is sensitive, especially with this, if this doesn't replace and even immediately replace the loss in leads from the source I pulled from. So, yeah, that looks like it's humming right along. $7,500 a month, $10,000 a month. I'm telling you guys this, small flex, by the way. I'm stoked about that deal. That could be another $100,000 plus deal that we're adding to our top line. That probably equate to about $5,000 roughly in our pockets after ad spend and everything else. So small flex there, but also to show you guys there are deals that are much bigger. But I want to be safe. I want to say $750 per month. Okay. I should have said this in the beginning. My name is Nick Wood. I've talked about my story many, many, many times, but in short, I've done this for a long time, since 2016. And I have the only reason why I feel adequate and in a position where I can speak on this subject so confidently is because I have walked the walk, and I do have walked the talk, and I still walk the talk. I'm still doing this. We're still doing proposals. We're still making sales calls. We're still growing the agency. Right now, we're on a sprint. This is separate from that $10,000 per month proposal that we just did. We're on a sprint to add another $10,000 per month to our agency by December 1st. We are growing. We are scaling. We are excited about this business. I'm not just one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm just going to teach it now. I'm going to be the expert. I feel like the fact that I still do this, the fact that I've done what I've done, I've gotten up to at one point 124, I believe it was, in 1 month was the most that we reached, $124,000 per month. I feel like that gives me the confidence to be able to talk on this. But I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. I want you guys to take everything with a grain of salt, because for all you know, I'm full of crap and I'm lying like the rest of them. Okay. So that said, guys, last week the Tide got the win over South Carolina. Roll Tide. Let's get into the episode today, okay? All right, so guys, my promise for you guys, my goal for today is that by the end of this training, you will have a blueprint for how to go and make your first $750 per month passively renting simple websites, guys. And every time I get a Stripe notification, okay? Like I had this phone right here that I have. It went out on me. I don't know, was it like a week and a half ago? I was coming back from Vegas, and I was even on the phone, and it just went out. Okay, and it said SOS. I think a lot of people have had that happen recently for some reason. It's weird with Verizon, and I was like, okay, whatever. I restarted, nothing, and then it said SIM failure. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm telling you guys this because I had to get a new phone. It was a whole ordeal, and so my email that's linked to my Stripe account, I haven't even set up on the new phone. And so last night I pulled out the old phone. My email and stuff still works. I just can't make calls. And I was looking through my emails, and I just saw these Stripe notifications, and hit look. I actually screenshot them and sent them to this phone because I put them on my Instagram. If you guys aren't following my Instagram, it is at Digital Drug Dealing. That is where I post all of my content. So I had a Stripe notification right here. $903.20 is on its way. That was on October 7th. $1,719.38 is on its way this is from Stripe to my bank account. This is on October 8th. $727.65 is on the way. This is on October 10th. And $14,941.11 is on the way, and that was on October 11th. And every time I see these guys, I even put a screenshot, and I put above it, why does everyone not have a couple of these projects up? Why does everyone not own a few of these websites? Like if you knew you could build something and take 2 weeks to 2 months, let's say, at the worst case scenario, 2 months every day, you're working on this thing for 2 months, but that thing had the ability to go and make you $500 a month forever. Obviously not forever, but like some of these projects, man, it's been 4 or 5 years and they're still cranking out, right? If you knew you could build a cash finding machine that you could just set free onto the internet, into the interwebs, like a little minion that's out there just plucking money, dude, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you have 5, 6, 10 of these things? Wouldn't you want to get your bills paid for? Wouldn't you want to take, Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad, wherever that book's at? I always have it. I don't know where it's at right now, but it's usually close to me. I don't know where it's at. It's on the ground over here somewhere, I think. Yeah, I don't know where it's at. I usually have it on my desk. Anyway, wouldn't you want to just go and escape the rat race, having these websites do it for you? So anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked, guys, but it is such a fun business model. It's so exciting. When people reach out to me that are like friends, family, whoever, and they're like, I want to get out of my current situation, I say, you know what? I have something for you. And I definitely don't try to sell them, because then I feel added pressure. Like it's my responsibility to make them successful, and it's on them. Ultimately, I can lead the horse to the water, but I can't force it to drink. But I tell them, hey, this is a great business model. I've seen my little brother, 2 of my little brothers do this. I've seen friends do this. I've got cousins doing this. I have seen this change lives. It's changed my life. So I get super excited about this. Okay. So what I want to say though, really quick, and I'm going to just dive right into this, is there's only so much that we can cover on this episode. There's only so much I can cover on these episodes. This is going to be a blueprint. Okay. There's no way that I can humanly there's no humanly possible way, sorry, a little slow today, that I can cover every single scenario, every single question on an episode like this. This comes from 8+ years of experience that I'm speaking from. Okay. And I can talk about this stuff forever because I've done it for so freaking long. Okay. And I want to say that because my goal with this podcast, my goal with these episodes is I want to give you the fire. I want to give you the motivation. I want to give you the excitement to get started. Okay, to go and take action and get those first few wins and maybe even make some money. Okay, and I want to give you an example. I'm going to use a gym analogy. Me doing this podcast, my free Facebook group, by the way, and if you haven't joined that, look in the description. We have a free Facebook group, a free Discord channel. We got a free training, we got a bunch of stuff to get you guys started. Okay. But I'm going to give you a gym example. What my job is I'm the guy that I'm going to get you excited and motivated to get the gym pass, to get the gym clothes, or put the ones on that you already have. You don't need to go buy new gym clothes, trust me. And to give you enough information to go to the gym and to start working out, not feel dumb, not feel embarrassed, but enough to go and get started and get there. Okay. Now, once you get there, if you see that guy, if you're a man and that guy that's super jacked and he's got the body, he's got the abs and the shoulders and the chest, and you want to look exactly like him, you're probably going to have to go tap him on the shoulder and you're going to have to go and be like, hey, what does it cost for you to train me one-on-one every single day? Because he's been doing it for 10 years and he knows exactly what to do, right? And so that guy, that trainer is our program. That's our inner community. That's our what would we call it? Our online community. That's digital landlords. Okay, that is a paid program, paid students. It costs money, and so that is where all of that is. That's where all the step by step A to Z soup to nuts stuff is. Okay, but you could still go to the gym with the information that I gave you, with the shoes that you already have, and doing the stuff that I talked about over the course of an hour, and you're going to see results. You're going to see that, hey, this is actually working. I'm seeing some movement. And then you're going to realize, okay, now if I want to go to the next level, if I really want to do this, that's what I need to do. So I want to just give you that analogy to let you know that, yes, this stuff, if you try it, you are going to get results. Okay. But it's going to be incomplete because there's just no way I can cover all this in 1 hour on these 1 hour episodes. And that is why we have that community. Okay. So that said, guys, here's the plan for today. And also, by the way, you're never going to hear me plug in my stuff. I try to not do that, but I also want to be completely frank with you that the way to do business, in my opinion, is you find the thing that your customer wants. Okay. We do this with the business the way I teach it, right? We know what our customer wants. Our business owner wants leads. And what do? Instead of calling them and saying, hey, buy my stuff, buy my leads, you say, hey, why don't you try my leads for free? Why don't you just take a couple on me, on daddy? Why don't you just take a couple on me, baby, and try them out? And then you let that do the selling for you. Similarly, I'm not just going to jam this down your throat. Here, buy my program. Buy Digital Landlords. You got to have it. No. I'm going to give you, I know what you guys want. You need the knowledge. You want to get out. You want freedom. Every person on this call wants freedom. They want location freedom. They want time freedom. They want financial freedom. They want speech freedom. They want those things. And a lot of the times, the way they make their money doesn't allow them to have that thing, right? And they know that you guys have a good idea, or you think this might be the answer. You want the knowledge to be able to start making money passively by renting simple website. I have that knowledge. So what I do is I give that knowledge for free in bites, right? A 1 hour podcast, a 1 hour live, a little 15-second clip on YouTube, a little 5-minute training on YouTube, whatever. And I give as much as I possibly can. And then what happens, you guys are like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. I did the thing he suggested and I made money. It worked. I made progress. Now I can trust this guy. Let's go. So I understand how this works, guys. But again, that's what this is for. But I'm telling you guys, if you do what I recommend today, you're going to see results. And this is a really exciting strategy that and let's say that you're in the model already. And I don't want to get too nuanced here. I need to jump into this, but I get excited and I kind of get all over the place. If you're already in this business and you take this strategy, you could go get your next deal or your next 2 deals or 3 deals. This is a really, really solid strategy. Okay. So here's the plan, guys. Number one is I'm going to explain really quickly just to make sure we're all on the same page of the model itself. Okay. And what I mean by that is the business model. And then also I'm going to talk about the way that I teach the model, which is slightly different. Okay. And I think it's the only way to do it. And just that's so everyone's on the same page. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the step-by-step strategy on how that you can follow to go and land your first $750 per month deal. Okay. All right. If I had water, that'd be great. I don't. We're gonna go. We're gonna run, baby. We're gonna run. So let's just go for it. Here we go. So number one, guys, again, as I explained at the beginning of this episode, the model's really simple. Pick a city, pick a niche. Tallahassee, tree service. Okay. Tallahassee, duct cleaning. Well, let's change it up. Orlando, duct cleaning. Okay. Build a website. Build a website is step 2. Step 3 is rank the website for certain terms. So we want to rank for, duct cleaning. We want to rank for duct cleaner, duct cleaning company. There's certain words that people search when they need duct cleaning. We want to rank our website. So when people in Orlando search for that thing, duct cleaning Orlando, our website shows up at the top. And when you do that, we start getting phone calls. Those are leads, right? We take those leads and we go and we work with the local business owner and we land a deal. Okay. So that's the business model. And that's it, guys. You get paid again and again and again. Okay. So now that we're on the same page of the actual business model itself, what I need to explain to you guys is there is an issue with doing that. Okay. When you build a website, you start to rank it and then you want to go and sell it. The issue with that way of doing it, and this is what I initially tried to do because I didn't know there was a better way of doing it, because that's what everybody teaches is rank then rent. Okay. The downside is that you have to wait 4 to 6 to 8 to 9, sometimes 12 months for your website to rank, for phone calls to start coming in to go and actually get a deal. Okay. And that's why on a different episode that I've actually done, I called this the perfectly broken business model, something like that. And I wanted to point out that, like, yes, this model is great. If we talk about it the traditional way, which is build a website, rank it, then rent it. But there is a gap. There is a waiting gap, which makes this difficult to scale. It makes it difficult to stay true to stay the course, whatever you want to say. And so, guys, in 2020, I was in a situation at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020 where I was ready to give up on this model. I couldn't figure out quite how to scale. I was frustrated because, or as Kanye says, I was frustrated because it was like I just couldn't get those wheels turning. I knew I was close, but I just felt like I was spinning my wheels, right? And I put together this plan to scale to $100,000 per month because I just felt inside my bones, this is the model that's going to get me there. But the doubt that I had is I didn't know anybody out there, and all the courses that I bought and all the programs that I bought, all the groups I was part of, I didn't know anyone that made $100,000 per month. I didn't know any millionaires that had come from building and renting simple websites. Everyone that was making money was selling a program, selling a tool, And so I kind of had that doubt, but inherently and in my bones, I just looked at the model and I was like, this makes sense. It's recurring. You have total control. It's recession resistant, blah, blah, blah. And it just made sense. And I finally committed. I'm like, I am going to figure this out. But I realized as I started making this plan that I'm going to have to build like 200 or 300 websites out the gate, because let's say that at 6 months, only, half of those are ranked. And then of those, let's say that only half of those are in good cities. And then of those, let's say I can only sell half of those. And it was just like, I started calculating, like, let's say it cost me $8 a month for hosting, right? And I'm doing that times 20 websites, like times 6 months or 9 months or 12 months. And I realized, like, by the time I actually got this thing going, I was going to put myself in another $20,000 in debt. And at the time I was already in $60,000 in debt. And so the only way that I saw this like working is if I was able to figure out how to get a business owner to pay me and front the cost of this and commit up front for this project. And it sounded like a wild idea. Like, imagine, right? If you're doing this with houses and you're like, hey, I want to find somebody that's going to sign a contract to rent it, but they're also going to be willing to actually fund the whole project that I own. It doesn't make sense in regular real estate, but it does with this because it's so cheap. So in 2020, guys, we just started experimenting. We started, hey, how can we flip this model on its head and do it backwards? Okay. And so that's where renting websites first, getting the credit card and the contract, and then building out the website that I own, getting paid the entire time. That's where that came from. Okay. So guys, what I want to explain really quick, and then we're going to get into the exact tactical steps, is the correct way to do this model. And it's exactly backwards of the way that we started, which is build a website, rank it, rent it out, right? Sounds great in theory, but the 6 months, 9 months, all that stuff, that's the part that gets most people hung up. So with that said, guys, let me explain the pre-selling model. This is the model that I teach, and I call this the rent first, rank later. Rent, then rank. And we're just flipping it on its head, okay? So here's the way that I teach it inside of my program. This is the only way that I think you should do it. And it's the only way that I think you're ever going to be able to scale this business model, okay? So here's how I do it. Is the first step is the same. I pick the city, I pick the niche. And there is a formula for this, by the way. We don't just go pick a random city, pick a random niche. There is a formula. There's a due diligence process. There's a criteria that I have for picking a city. There's a criteria I have for picking a niche, okay? We've talked about this at length inside of some of our free groups, inside of our free trainings. And obviously, we give that blueprint and that formula inside of the community, okay? That's number one. Here's where it changes, okay? This is where it differs. Number two is instead of going and, building out a website, what I do is I go build a landing page. What a landing page is basically a one-page throwaway website, something that I'm not going to keep. It takes me less than 30 minutes to build. It probably takes me like 15 minutes to build after I've done this a few times. And I say probably because it's been a long time. I have a team that does this now. Okay. I'm going to build a simple landing page. Okay. It's one page. And on that landing page, I'm going to have a phone number. I'm going to have a little quote form. I'm going to have some content. I'm going to, I'm just going to throw it together. Okay. But because I've done this for so long and I've tested so many different ones, I know what that needs to look like. So I'm just going to build this little simple landing page. It takes me 30 minutes or less. And then I'm thinking, how can I get people to this website? And the way that I discovered that works the best is you go to Google Ads. And how Google Ads works is you go to Google, you pay them, and you say, hey, Google, I'm going to pay you to put my one pager or my website on page one today instead of me waiting 6 months. Now, if you wait 6 months and you're actually organically ranked, meaning you've done the SEO, you put in the work, if somebody clicks on your website, it doesn't cost you anything, right? You have earned your way to the top. But I can go pay Google today to put me on page one. And this is how Google makes money. A lot of their money comes from this product called Google Ads. And they will put me on page one. And the downside is every time somebody clicks on my ad, I get charged. They don't have to call me. It could be a competitor. It could be all these number of things. But because I've spent I'm coming up on $1.5 million on Google Ads, I know exactly what the ad needs to look like. I know what the keywords need to be. I know how to set this thing up. And I can do this very, very quickly. And it's, by the way, once you learn how to set up a Google ad, it's not that hard. It sounds overwhelming. It sounds like this big. I've set up Facebook ads. I've set up Google ads, and I'm here to tell you, setting up a Google ad is much easier than a Facebook ad, and doing a Facebook ad is not that crazy, just so you know, okay? But setting up a Google ad is relatively simple. You just have to know what you're doing. So guys, step two is I'm going to put up a one-page little landing page, and I'm going to turn on some ads, and it's going to put that landing page on page one, and people are going to start clicking. And people that are the right people are going to start calling that number. Hey, I'm in Orlando. I need a quote on getting my tree cut down, right? And guess what? I'm going to get the phone ringing today. And then what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to take the leads that come from that ad. Say I spent $100, I get 5, 6 leads, 3 leads, 10 leads, and I'm going to go to a local business owner in Orlando, and I'm going to use those leads to give a few free leads. Like I talked about in the beginning, I always want to give free value up front, and I'm going to secure that deal with those leads I'm giving for free. So for less than, let's say a couple $100, at the worst case, I'm going to be able to land a deal with a business owner. And that even includes if I have to go through multiple business owners. By the way, when I say a couple $100, sometimes it takes $50. Sometimes it takes $100. Sometimes it takes $150. I'm going to be able to secure a deal up front. I'm going to let the business owner know, hey, I want to work with you. We're going to be building out a website. I'm still going to get you leads. They're just going to be coming from this thing called ads in the meantime. And then by about month 6, we're going to start seeing consistent organic leads. I don't even go into this much detail, but if they ask, I will tell them. And guys, guess what? Now I have a paying client. I have a credit card. I have a contract. And I have this thing set up, this one pager and these ads, and I'm feeding this guy or this gal with leads. They're paying me $1,000 a month. I'm spending half of that on ads, and I'm pocketing $500 a month. And now I get to take that $500 a month. I'm netting, right? That's $6,000 a year. I'm netting, and I don't even have a website. And I'm going to use that money to build out my website and start ranking it. And the beautiful part is I'm getting paid the entire time. I know that once the website ranks, I can turn off the ads. And now instead of making, 500 out of that $1,000, I'm going to make 900 out of that $1,000. And that's the beauty behind this. And guess what? I can now scale. Why? Because if I go and I build a website or a one pager for tree service in Orlando and I run the ads and I can't find any hungry business owner, guess what? I'm only committed to about a week's worth of time and $100 or $200 instead of 6, 7, 8 months worth of time and multiple hundreds, if not $1,000 plus in, hard costs in hosting, in content, in labor, and my time, right? And so now I can rapidly go and test cities and I make my money back instantly because I collect $1,000 up front. I make all my money back that I've spent on the ads, and now I'm in the green. So now I can scale because I'm not building random websites in random cities and niches hoping they're going to work out. I'm only going to build a website once I get a deal. And now the financial aspect is no longer, a bottleneck. I am no longer at the mercy of the finances. And some of you guys, maybe you have, $100,000 you could throw at this. It's great, but why would you if you didn't have to? If you could have other people fund your projects, wouldn't you want to do that? So anyway, that is the model, guys. Once you get the website to rank, you turn off the ads. So basically, all we're doing is we're taking the model, we're flipping it. Right? Instead of waiting for leads to come in and then getting the deal, we're saying, hey, let's force leads to come in like in the beginning, get the deal, and then we'll build out the website. So we're just flipping it on its head. Okay. I had to tell you that because that's going to matter here when I get into the blueprint, and let's go. So here's how you're going to get $750 a month deal. And guys, if you were my little brother, my buddy, somebody I cared about, this is the exact advice I would give you. I don't want you to think I'm just giving this because I don't know you or you don't know me, or maybe you do, but this is the same advice I would give somebody that says, how do I get my first deal, first digital real estate deal? If you were starting today, what would you do? Here's exactly what I would do. Okay. Step one, you're going to take a pen, you're going to take a piece of paper, and you are going to make a list of every person you know that owns a business, any kind of business. Okay. This is from your Facebook page. This is from your Instagram. This is from your contact list. This is from your memory. This is from whoever, whatever, however, people that you know that own businesses. Step one. Step two is I want you to look at that list and I want you to think about the following criteria. And I want you to circle every business that fits the following criteria. Number one, that's phone driven. Number two, it's high ticket. Number three, it's non-branded. Let me explain. Phone driven, meaning if I am looking to get concrete poured at my house, I am not going to go to a shop and say, let's look at the different types of concrete, right? It's probably going to be somebody that works out of his house. Okay, maybe he has a yard or maybe he has a storage unit, but he doesn't have a storefront, okay? It's not a brick and mortar type of a thing where they're sitting at a store, right? They come to my house. So that's phone driven. Number two, it's high ticket. And I define high ticket as the cost of the service as at minimum $1,000 plus. I would feel more comfortable at $2,000 plus. That's why I like niches like concrete. That's like why I like niches like spray foam insulation. That's why I like niches like masonry. I have a block wall right here at my house. It was like 4,000. No, not even this side. It was the other side of my house. It was like 2,000 for this little stretch. I did split it with my neighbor, thank goodness, but this back one, thank goodness, came with the house. This back one would have been like a $10,000 wall. And it's just these ugly red bricks, right? These are ugly red blocks. So make sure it's high ticket. Why? Because if it's high ticket, there's going to be enough meat on the bone that your business owner can make money and you can make money. You start going into niches like towing. I just had a tow, ironically, just 2 weeks ago. And I actually used my clients to do this. And you're like, well, you said not to do towing. Don't do towing. I've done towing twice. I got my first deal was towing. It was a complete accident. It worked. And okay, great. And I actually sold that website. And then we did it again, like knuckleheads back in 2019 or 2020. I can't remember when it was. And the reason why I say that is because it's hard to find a good business owner. You don't make that much money. Like I think our client is a $500 per month client. Yeah, it's better than nothing. But if I can go make $2,500 a month or $1,500 a month for the same amount of work, why am I dealing with it? Anyway, with towing, like for example, I had my car towed from where my tire went flat, which is about 5 minutes from this house, which sucked. I tried to do as much as I could, but I couldn't quite make it. I had to take an Uber. By the way, that was an interesting story I'll share later because I almost got, well, I'm still talking to that person about leads. They're doing a taxi service on the side. Always be talking about your business, people, always, because everyone, this is a service that everybody needs. Anyway, it costs $110 to get this thing towed. So, okay, $110. By the time you pay for the truck, by the time you pay the employee, by the time you pay for the gas, you calculate the insurance, you calculate this, that, and the rest. Like, what did they make on that deal? $30, $40? And then even if they paid me half of that, okay, I get $20. So I'm literally gonna have to pipe them full of like 100 jobs a month minimum to even get to a $500 per month deal. And that's just to break even, right? So that's why I don't like those type of niches. So number 2 is high ticket. Number 3 is non-branded, meaning we're going to go into niches where people just want the service done. No one really cares who does their trees, right? No one, you're not going to see somebody like putting their tree removal on Instagram. You're not going to see like, it's not. Let's take a different example. We'll use a company that is branded or is we'll call it Instagrammable, right? Let's say like a remodeling company, right? If I'm remodeling my house, I am going to only use a company that I have seen their work because I know that they can do. I'm going to say, hey, I want to give my house like a modern look. Can you show me some of the work you've done that's modern? And then I'm going to go and look at it. And I'm going to make my decision based on that. I'm going to want to see a lot of their work. If I'm getting my, what's another example I could use? Okay, here's another one. If I'm getting my lips, let's say I'm going to do lip filler. Okay, this is really popular right now. Okay, I promise you, which by the way, I am not a fan of personally as a man, but I do think it looks nice on some people. I'm just not a fan. So no, whatever. If I'm going to let somebody put a needle in my lips, I'm going to look into this pretty heavily. I'm going to look at like, what other men have you done and what did their results turn out like? Did the lips turn out normal? Were they just whatever? That right there is going to be tough, right? That's a very branded niche. Everyone probably knows the local esthetician in their town and they're spending a lot of money on ads. They got a very customer facing brand. I don't want that. I want generic businesses. I want tree service. I want duct cleaning. I want concrete. I want spray foam insulation. I want masonry. I want fencing. People, you don't care who they are as long as they can get the job done. Okay. You don't care because no one's going to ask. You're not going to be sitting there at, having a drink going, hey, so which guy did your fence? Like as it's some kind of flex, right? That's what we're looking for. So you're going to look at all these businesses and the ones that they have to have all three: phone driven, high ticket, and non-branded. Circle all those. Everything else, cross out. Can you get leads in every business, every type of industry? Sure. I've done it in a lot. I've done it in all kinds of stuff, from golf lessons to cactus removal to assisted living. But it's about what is the juice worth the squeeze? Okay. So you make the list of the business owners, then you're going to circle the ones that are phone driven, high ticket, and non-branded. Then what you're going to do is you're going to call, text, or message every single one of those people, and you are going to ask them 2 questions. Okay. Number 1 is, can you handle more jobs? Can you handle more XYZ jobs? Hey, Bruce, okay, let me cut right to the chase. By the way, don't be all, hey, how's things going? How's the kids? Like, just be straight with them. Like, look, hey, Bruce, I haven't talked to you since high school, man. I just want to be completely honest with you. I'm calling you for a specific reason. Saw you at a concrete company. Can you guys handle more concrete jobs in Minneapolis? Because I know that's where he's at. If he says yes, I'm going to ask the second question, which is, if I could get you more concrete jobs in Minneapolis, would you be open to potentially working something out where I send you jobs, you pay me? If you're going to add yes to both of those, you have a winner on your hand. You have somebody that's a very interesting prospect, okay? And you're going to go through all these people. Now, I will give you a little hint. Yes, you can text. Yes, you can message. I know that's less confrontational. That's easier. It's not as scary. But I promise you, the thing that no one's willing to do is the thing that's going to get you the fastest result. So for those of you that are listening that are willing to pick up this little scary device that we're all so terrified of and just call people and say, hey, I know this is kind of random, but I just want to ask, like, I saw you do a concrete business. Can you handle more concrete jobs? Or are you guys completely booked out? And I like to kind of like almost force them to say yes. I'll say, hey, can you guys handle more concrete jobs? Or are you guys like one of those companies that's so busy you're backed out to like 2027? Like, what are they going to say? Like I'm making it sound like they're dumb if they tell me they're backed out that much, right? And you kind of twist their arm a little bit. And sometimes I'll do that, not all the time. But you can kind of play with it a little bit. But guys, pick up the phone, make these phone calls, and you're gonna do a little asterisk by each one of those that is positive. Yes, I can handle more jobs, and yes, I'm willing to talk about doing business together. Okay. And then what you're going to do is say, okay, sounds good. Let me just ask you really quick, what's your service area? So if you're dealing with Vegas, I'm going to ask, do you cover Vegas? Yes. Do you cover North Las Vegas? Yes. Do you cover Henderson? Yes. Do you cover Summerlin? Yes. Do you go all the way to Prim? Yes. Just out of curiosity, do you make it all the way to Mesquite? No. Okay. Well, now I know. Let me go back to the drawing board. I will be in touch very shortly. Now I know which areas I can look at. I can look at Mesquite. I can look at Henderson. I can look at Summerlin. I can look at North Las Vegas. I can look at Vegas itself, and I have options, right? If I call somebody in Dallas, hey, do you cover Dallas? Yes. Do you cover Arlington? Yes. Do you cover Fort Worth? Yes. Do you cover, is it Frisco? I think that's in that same area. I'm kind of just going off of memory here. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, now I have options. Now I have angles. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, guys, the next step is once I find out, yes, they're hungry. Yes, they're interested. They would be willing to pay. And I know their service area. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at the cities and look at which one looks the best. And the best being the one that has the most people searching for it with the least amount of competitors, the least amount of people that are trying to get the leads, the least amount of companies that are spending a bunch of money on advertising and marketing. And you can kind of use your intuition, right? Like the bigger the city, typically the more the competition. You just want to make sure that there's enough volume. Okay. So you want to stay away from like super, low population cities typically, generally because the low population cities don't have a ton of volume. But anyway, you're going to just pick a city. And some of these people you're going to call, they're only in one city. Like that's just how it is. Okay. They're just in one city. And then this is where we're going to plug in the process. Okay. So now once you picked your city, let's say we're looking at Vegas and we decide, you know what, we're just going to do Vegas itself and we're going to do masonry. Okay. Boom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Weebly.com and I'm going to set up a free Weebly page. You can do a Weebly page. So I could call it Las Vegas Masonry.weebly.com. Guess how much I pay for that? $0. It costs me nothing because it's a .weebly.com. That does not matter. That .weebly.com does not matter right now because we're not going to keep this little landing page forever. When I go to build my actual website, I'm going to go and pay for the website, spend the $12.99 a year or the $24.99 a year and buy the actual Las Vegas Masonry.com. But right now, Las Vegas Masonry.weebly.com is a free little landing page, and it costs me nothing. And I'm not going to keep it forever anyway. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw some content on it, some basic stuff. I'm going to put a number on there. Guys, you can even use your cell phone on this first one. You could use a Google Voice number. I like to use a service called Twilio inside of a tool that we use called rankandrentengine.com. You can buy your tracking numbers through that, but there's a ton of different things you can do. If you want to prove that this works, just use your cell phone. It's not scalable, but you can use your cell phone number. Okay, put your cell phone number on there and get this sucker live. And then you're going to go over, set up a simple Google ad. Guys, of course, I can't get into Google ad training on this. This is what we cover inside the program. You go Google how to set up a Google ad, you could Google it, you could YouTube it. You could call Google Ads and they'll actually walk you through it. It's usually not the greatest because those guys don't really know what they're doing. They're just trying to sell their service, but you could limp your way through getting an ad set up, right? And now you got to add pushing traffic to a one pager. And guys, you're in business. And guess what's going to happen? If you spend enough money and your ad's decent, you are going to start seeing phone calls. You're going to get people actually calling you and you're going to go, dude, that actually worked. Are you kidding me? And now you have leads. You have the bait. You have the thing to catch the fish, right? You have the bait that goes on the lure as you're going fishing, right? As you're going fishing. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go call that list of business owners you have the asterisks by. Let's say you had the guy that's in Las Vegas doing masonry and he was hungry I can take on more jobs and yeah, I'd be open to it. You're going to call him back and say, hey, Bruce, yeah, this is Nick. Remember we talked like a week ago and you said you could handle more jobs? Yeah. Hey, I actually have a job I want to send you right now, completely free. It's on me. And by the way, at this point, I'm going to have the information. Her name's Cindy. She's looking to get a patio. It's this dimension and here's her number. Boom. And he's going to go, okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll call you with one or two more and then let's talk. And I'm going to do this 2, 3, 4 times. Guys, and then once you guys do this, the deal's done. Especially if they already know you, especially if they're already looking to grow, especially if they said that they were potentially willing to pay for more business. Once I send them 2, 3, 4 leads, they're done. It's done. Now I'm going to say, hey, let's hop on a quick Zoom. If you're in the same town, let's grab lunch, let's grab coffee, whatever. And I'm going to explain it to them. I'm going to be completely transparent. This is what I do. I'm going to be able to get you leads, and they're going to be 100% exclusive with you. And we're going to ink that deal. We're going to get that deal. We're going to charge, and by the way, I do have a formula. I have a calculator tool that we use, how much to charge. And these are all the things that you guys will start to have questions about. And I answer a lot of this stuff on my YouTube channel and in my free group and in my free training and all that kind of stuff. But, we have a formula for how much to charge, et cetera. But I'm going to walk away and I'm going to, have a 6-month contract, a credit card on file, a commitment from a business owner. And now I'm going to take the money that I just made and I'm going to go build out my website. And that's it, guys. And guys, I promise you, some of you are like, I don't know how to build a website. That's easy, man. You know how many people you can get to build you a website? You could go into my free group right now. You come to that group with a deal. You make a post in that group. Tag me just so I could see, because I'm going to prove this to you. Tag me in that post and say, hey, I need somebody. I got a deal. I need somebody to build me a website and do SEO on it. If you're interested, send me a message. You're going to get 50 messages. I have 6.1 thousand members of that group, and everyone in there is willing to do work for money. Okay. People are always willing to do this, and there's a lot of people. That's the easy part of the thing. The hard part's getting the deal. Okay. If you have the deal, there's tons of people. You can hire someone in the Philippines for $5 an hour if you know what you're doing. It's not that difficult. So don't be like, well, I don't know how to build a website, so I'm not going to get a deal. Get the deal. You can always find someone to do the work, right? No one's willing to go and actually make the call, okay? And guys, that's it. So now let's just say we have a deal and we have this person said yes. So now I'm charging them 1,000. I'm going to keep my ads running to this landing page. I'm going to spend 500, let's say. I'm going to keep them happy. They're going to keep getting leads from this. And by the way, if you set this up with like Twilio through rankandrentengine.com, you can actually have these just forwarded directly to the business owner and they're recorded, right? And it's all legal, by the way. It tells the customer that's getting recorded. And you're just going to forward the calls to the business owner and you're going to go to work on the website and you're going to do all your on-page SEO and all this different stuff. Again, not that complicated. I didn't even know what a domain was a couple years ago. And now I've made millions of dollars doing this, okay? And I'm going to go to work on this website. And as soon as this website starts to rank for Las Vegas masonry, Las Vegas retaining wall, Las Vegas block wall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, my leads organically are going to start coming in. I can slowly start turning off these ads to the point where eventually I'm going to turn off the ads completely. I'm going to get rid of that one pager. And now I have my LasVegasMasonry.com that's piping leads to Bruce. It's costing me $50 to keep maintained because I have some basic costs and I'm making 90% plus margins on this deal and the leads are going to him and I'm on my merry way for some of you guys to go and golf and do whatever you want to do because, hey, I got $950 coming in. And for some of us, we're like, how do we do that 100 times? That's what I did. I got that first taste of blood. And I was like, how do I do this 100 times? And that's exactly what we did. We scaled up to $100,000 per month. Okay, guys, that's it. That's the strategy. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you will do this, there are people, every single one of us knows people that are looking for leads, that are paying people right now for leads that are not happy. They're paying Home Advisor, they're paying Angie's List, they're paying whoever that are not happy. People that are paying people to do SEO, to rank their website. The only reason they're doing that, guys, is because they want leads. And we all know people that own businesses, concrete businesses, tree service businesses, towing companies, carpet cleaning companies. I'm not saying all of these fit the bill, but we all know business owners and there's all deals in our back pocket. And this, my friends, is if you're coming to this business brand new, this is the strategy that I would tell you to do to go get that first 1, 2, 3, 4 deals. And if you've never done this strategy, even if you're making $5,000, $10,000 a month, do this. Go get your next 1, 2, 3 deals. Okay, guys, this is an episode I would bookmark. You're going to want to listen to this again and again and again because this is a strategy that is sound. it's a strategy that we've used. It's a strategy that we have given to our students that has worked time and time again, and it will work for you. Guys, appreciate you being on this episode, episode 9. And once again, just real quick, as some takeaways, we have a free Facebook group. It's in the description. We have a free Discord channel, whichever is your flavor. Those are very similar. They're just, different ways of giving you the information. We also have a mini course at rentsimplesites.com. You can check me out on Instagram at Digital Drug Dealing. You can check me out on TikTok at Digital Drug Dealing. And then, of course, for those of you that are like, hey, let's freaking shake and bake. Let's move. Let's quit wasting time because I have money and I can make the money back, but I can't get the time back with my kids or my wife or my husband or my dad or whoever the case is. and you want to go fast and you want to get this thing done, that's where you're going to apply for the program. And that is by application only. And there's a process to that, but that application we will put in the description as well. Guys, thanks once again. We will see you next week. And remember, money loves speed. I'll see you guys on the next episode. I'm out.